Hello everyone, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. We're going to be doing Chapter 1, Managing Human Resources. I have been involved with human resources close to 30 years, so I'm going to share some of my insight along with the book's insight. Let us proceed. So the learning objectives for today are to define human resource management and explain how human resource management, otherwise known as HRM from this point on, to an organization's performance. Learning objective 2 basically is to identify the responsibilities of human resource departments. Then the third one is to summarize the types of competencies needed for human resource management, and explain the role of supervisors in human resource management, discuss ethical issues in human resource management, and describe typical careers in human resource management. Human resource management are the policies, practices, and systems that influence employees' behaviors, attitudes, and of course performance. Within the HRM practices in Figure 1.1, we have analysis of design of work, planning of HR, recruiting, selection, training and development, performance management, compensation, payment to employees, and of course, employee relations, getting along with employees. Human capital, this may have a negative connotation, but it doesn't mean that, God forbid, the organization owns you in any capacity. You're not their chattel, they're not their property. You're a human being, you have your own rights, you can come and go as you please, you can leave when you want. You can quit when you want. There's some sort of contractual agreement that requires you to be there for a certain amount of time, and the remedies that are there in case you have to break the contract. But outside of that, so we look at the training, experience, judgment, intelligence, relationships, and insight that come from human capital. The concept of HRM implies that employees are resources of the employer, but not property of the employer. Resources meaning that they are used, their talents are used, channeled during the hours of work. The impact of HR management. So basically, a behavior of human capital, which is a motivation and effort, which is Figure 1.2, and types of human capital: training, experience, judgment, intelligence, relationships, and of course insight, all impact organizational performance vis-a-vis quality, profitability, and customer satisfaction. So what does HR management get you? Sustainable competitive advantage. It's not enough to be competitive in the here and now. In this quarter, you have to have something over everyone else that you do better constantly, consistently. So an organization is better than competitors at something and can hold that advantage over a sustained period of time. Human resources gives organizations advantages because human resources are valuable, they're rare, cannot be imitated, and have no good substitutes. Here we have attracting talent. Walmart's working on their sullied reputation. In the past, they've been implicated in paying low wages, not giving benefits, sexual harassment, not promoting minorities and women, etc. Walmart recently raised the minimum wage for store employees in an effort to attract and retain top workers. Human resource management company performance continued. High-performance work system is technology, organizational structure, people and processes all work together to give an organization a competitive advantage. May include development of training programs, recruitment of people with new skill sets, establishment of rewards for such behaviors as teamwork, flexibility, and learning. Some of the HR product lines: administrative services and transactions, business partner services, strategic partner. Responsibilities: establishing and administering personnel policies, ensuring compliance with labor laws. Some responsibilities expanded: analysis and design of work, looking at the different aspects of a job description. Is the job created fairly? Is it doable? And of course, analyzing whether or not people are working to their full potential, and what needs to be done in order to get people to work better. Training, development, etc. may need to be tapped into. Recruitment and selection, recruiting, job postings, interviewing, testing to make sure that people belong in their jobs. Coordinating use of temporary labor. Training and development, orientation, skill training, career development programs. Performance management, performance measures, preparation, administration of performance appraisals, and of course, discipline and compensation and benefits. Wage and salary administration, incentive pay, insurance, vacation leave administration, retirement plans, and profit sharing and stock plans, all a part of compensation and benefits, all of which I have experience with. Employee relations, attitude surveys, labor relations, employee handbooks, company publications, labor compliance, labor law compliance, relocation and outplacement services, personnel policies, policy creation and policy communication, being committees, etc., employee data and information systems, record keeping, HR information systems, workforce analytics, compliance with laws, policies to ensure lawful behavior, reporting, posting information, safety, inspections, accessibility, accommodations, support for strategy, human resource planning and forecasting, talent management, and of course, change management. Job analysis is the process of getting detailed information about jobs. Job design is the process of defining the way work will be performed and the tasks that a given job requires. Boosting morale, Wegmans Food Market is one of only 4 companies to make the Fortune 100's best companies to work for, ranking each year since its launch 25 years ago. The supermarket chain is known for exceptional training, flexible scheduling, in addition to a work scholarship program for high school students. Responsibilities of HR, recruitment, process through which the organization seeks applicants for potential employees. Selection is the process by which the organization identifies applicants with the necessary knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics that will help the organization achieve its set goals. Top qualities in employers: look for employees' problem-solving skills, teamwork skills, strong work ethic, analytical quantitative skills, written communication skills. These are all very important. Training is another responsibility, which is a planned effort to enable employees to learn job-related knowledge, skills, and behavior. Development, acquisition of knowledge, skills, and behaviors that improve an employee's ability to meet changes in job requirements and in customer demands. Performance management is the process of ensuring employees' activities and outputs match the organization's goals. HR may be responsible for developing or obtaining questionnaires and other devices for measuring performance. Focus on the short term or the long term, typically completed by employees, supervisor, and overseen by HR to make sure it's within compliance. Planning, administration, pay and benefits, determining salary, wages, bonuses, commissions, and other performance-related pay, determining which benefits to offer, and how much of the cost is shared by employees. Need systems for keep track of employees' earnings and benefits. Employee need information about the benefits plan and require extensive record keeping and reporting and their attendance, example, sick days and vacation time. Maintaining positive employee relations, very important, preparing and distributing employee handbooks and company publications and ensuring that everyone understands them, responding to communications from employees when they complain or they bring some sort of concern to you, don't just brush it off, and negotiating union contracts and maintaining communication with union representatives. More on the responsibilities of HR, establishing and administering personnel policies vis-a-vis hiring, discipline, promotions, and of course, benefits. HR personnel communicate through a variety of channels, presentations at meetings, posting documents online, email, social media, etc. More on responsibilities of human resources, manage and using human resource data, handling records while protecting privacy, and workforce analytics, use of quantitative tools and scientific methods to analyze data from human resource databases and other sources to make evidence-based decisions that support business goals. So some of the things that you may download as an HR specialist will be used later on by people within the organization. Ensuring compliance with labor laws is another one of the prime examples that we mentioned before, including equal employment opportunity, the EEO, employee safety and health, employee pay and benefits, employee privacy and job security. Government requirements include filing reports and displaying posters, avoiding unlawful behavior, and lawsuits continue to influence HRM practices concerning job security. Employment at will basically is the ability for a boss to fire someone without any warning or reason, but again, it has to be proven that it's not for reasons that are illegal. Also, we have issues of age discrimination. Human resource planning is identified as the number and types of employees the organization requires to meet objectives. Talent management, systematic planned effort to attract, retain, develop, and motivate highly skilled employees and managers. And we look at evidence-based HR, collecting and using data to show human resource practices that have a positive influence on company bottom line or key stakeholders. So what works. Supporting the organizational strategy, managing change by applying knowledge of human behavior along with performance management tools to help the organization manage change constructively. Sustainability is the ability to profit without depleting resources, including employees, natural resources, and support of surrounding community. Stakeholders are the parties with an interest in the company's success. In our example, it's going to be teachers and students. Typically include shareholders, community, customer, and employees. Skills of HRM professionals. The Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM, lists HR competencies, defines knowledge and skills associated with in HRM. They're technical, they're interpersonal, they're business, and of course they lead, but it's a tougher leadership than at night. Here we have competencies for HR professionals: business acumen, human resource expertise, relationship management, communication. You can read those on your own. Now we move on to the slide that talks about HR responsibilities of supervisors. At a startup, the company's founders are the first supervisors. Supervisors have many HR responsibilities. Must consider the ways that decisions and policies will attract their employees. Figure 1.4, supervisors' involvement in HRM, common area. Forecasting needs, providing training, interviewing candidates, appraise performance, recommend pay increases, communicate policies, and support for prayer that people don't speak when they're not supposed to, and other included rewards that we just haven't seen yet because we don't see everything. Ethics is the fundamental principle of right and wrong. Treatment of employees is a top concern, such as the treatment of women in the workplace. Ethical behavior that is consistent with those principles are organizations that insulate themselves better. And many ethical issues in the workplace involves human resource management. Employee rights, free consent, privacy, freedom of conscience, freedom of speech, of course, due process. Ethical companies act for employees, emphasizing mutual benefit relationship with customers, values, and clients. Employee assumes responsibilities for the actions of the company and have a sense of purpose or vision that employees value and use in their day-to-day work. Of course, emphasize fairness. These are all ethics in human resource management. We move on to slide 38. These are standards for identifying ethical practices. One aspect is a bit off. Great is good for greatest number. So you're basically sacrificing people. Fair and equitable, and respect for basic human rights. Building a career, salaries vary depending on industry, education, experience. Some positions are generalists, some are specialists. Most positions require some sort of college degree and increased opportunities through training and development. Here's figure 1.6 of median salaries for HR. You can look at it yourself, and we have completed today's lecture. Thank you so much for coming. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are.